The negative energy we waste fighting one another, pulling each other down, and plotting against each other could instead be redirected towards productive solutions and meaningful collaboration. Too often, we are quick to blame others, yet we fail to recognize in many ways we have become our greatest enemy. Today we must choose a different path. We choose unity over division, cooperation over conflict, and responsibility over blame. By redirecting our energy towards dialogue, solutions, and collective action, we believe healing is possible and progress can be achieved for our nation and for generations to come. We must revisit our omissions and reverse our wrong actions. We must acknowledge our mistakes, remedy our errors, right our wrongs, and learn from our failures. Unity is a critical foundational pillar for the perpetual and advancement of a strong nation. But today, Zimbabwe, like many others in years before, celebrating Unity Day in a deeply divided nation. Decade-old grievances like Gukurahundi remain unresolved. Political parties are marred by intolerance, violence, and internal power struggles, and opposition voices continue to face repression and parliamentary weakness. Socio-economic inequalities are widening with rising poverty and unemployment increasing the gap between the rich and the poor, while migration and brain drain weaken our institutions. Electoral disputes and unresolved historical issues further fracture our society, leaving our nation painfully divided politically, socially, and economically, far from the unity and reconciliation it was meant to achieve. This is a clear indication of the abduction of unity by those entrusted with leadership. Instead of addressing the root causes of our divisions, leaders have often prioritized personal gain, political survival, and partisan points scoring. Institutions meant to build and uphold justice, fairness, and accountability have been weakened or co-opted, allowing corruption, nepotism, and illegitimate processes to take hold. Promises of reconciliation, equitable development, and social cohesion have largely gone unfulfilled, leaving citizens disillusioned and the nation fragmented. A call to action: restore majority rule and respect the people's will. Disputed elections, contested national processes, and illegal attempts to change rules or extend presidential terms. All this must be stopped. Zimbabwe must honor and respect the voices of its citizens. Doing away with contested and discredited national processes and outcomes. Resolving this foundational issue is critical for addressing the nation's deeper challenges. Let us forge a new consensus, a new national consensus. Zimbabweans, we must find each other and work in unity, celebrating their unity in diversity. We must build a shared vision that unites all Zimbabweans under one common trajectory. The Zimbabwe we desire, the Zimbabwe we want, and the Zimbabwe we demand. This new conversation must be inclusive, forward-looking, and centered on collective aspirations rather than partisan interests. We need to pursue a genuine political settlement. We need to pursue a genuine political settlement. Beyond dialogue and vision, there must be an agreement on political settlement. A political settlement that ensures fairness, accountability, and stability. True unity requires not only to understand, but concrete mechanisms to resolve disputes and foster national cohesion. God bless you. God bless Zimbabwe. God is in it. The end. That's how we see Nelson Chamisa's Unity Day statement. As we see the Zimbabwe opposition leader Nelson Chamisa marking this National Unity Day with a call for genuine reconciliation. In his message, Chamisa lamented that division has permeated politics, institutions, families, and businesses, and even churches. Chamisa described Zimbabwe as a deeply fractured society, politically, economically, and socially. Despite the annual Unity Day celebrations, he pointed to unresolved historical grievances like the Gukurahundi, ongoing political intolerance, repression of opposition voices, wide socio-economic inequalities, poverty, unemployment, brain drain, and disputed elections. Criticizing leadership, Chamisa accused those in power of prioritizing personal gain, political survival, and partisanship, leading to weakened institutions, corruption, and unfulfilled promises of justice and equality. This is a clear indication of the abduction of duty by those entrusted with leadership, he said, and we see his call to action, restoring majority rule, forging national consensus. That is Nelson Chamisa. We see him. National Unity Day statement, which he makes today. Now, we're going to take it even higher. Assessing the possibility of Nelson Chamisa and Chiwenga alliances in Zimbabwe politics and ZANU-PF's Mozambique strategy. What is it about? And what happens next in the nation of Zimbabwe? Big up to everybody who's watching us live right now. To those watching us live, you can write your comments in the top chat or in the super chat. That's how I can get to see your names, so I can give you my shout outs. Yes, fellow Zimbabweans watching TV7 Live, broadcasting live and direct from the nation of Zimbabwe, under the state of the kingdom of God, of the kingdom of heaven. Now we continue unpacking all this happening in the nation of Zimbabwe. Yeah. As we are unpacking the possibility of a Chiwenga and Nelson Chamisa GNU, Government of National Unity. We see these ZANU-PF guys, they're now sweating. In the context of Zimbabwe's turbulent political landscape as of late 2025, Speculation about a potential alliance between opposition leader Nelson Chamisa and Vice President Chiwenga have surfaced repeatedly in media reports. As of late 2025, speculation about a potential alliance of opposition leader Nelson Chamisa and Vice President Chiwenga has surfaced repeatedly in media reports, social media discussions, and analytical pieces. This stems from ongoing ZANU-PF internal fractures, succession battles around President Emmerson Mnangagwa, and Chamisa's efforts to regroup the opposition and himself after his departure from the Citizens Coalition for Change. However, such a partnership remains largely hypothetical, driven by rumors rather than concrete developments. Right now, I break down the chances of this happening and the key factors that could make this feasible, drawing from recent sources across news outlets as we give this analysis. Ladies and gentlemen, Chamisa's current chances, yes, they are very low, but not impossible. It's an estimated 20 to 30 probability. What does it take for this to happen? What needs to happen for this coalition to be a possibility in the nation of Zimbabwe? Chi chinodiwa kuti zviitike izvozvezve. The idea of Chamisa teaming up with Chiwenga, potentially forming a government of national unity, a transitional government, or anti-MNANGAGWA coalition has gained traction amid ZANU-PF succession drama. Chiwenga, a former military commander who played a key role in the 2017 coup that ousted Robert Gabriel Mugabe, is seen as the front-runner to succeed Mnangagwa, but faces accusations of being sidelined or plotting his own moves. Recent leaks and reports suggest that Chiwenga has presented dossiers accusing Mnangagwa's allies of corruption and treason, intensifying rivalries. Meanwhile, Chamisa has hinted at a political comeback, possibly launching a new movement to challenge figures like Chiwenga or Mnangagwa associates. Pro-alliance arguments from observers include shared adversaries. Both are perceived as threats to Mnangagwa's extended rule, e.g. pushes for a 2030 term extension. Some speculate Chiwenga could be fired or marginalized, pushing him towards opposition figures like Chiwenga to Chamisa to rally masses. Complementary strengths. Chiwenga brings hardware, military and security influence, while Chamisa offers software, popular support, and legitimacy from disputed elections. This tech team could counter ZANU-PF's dominance as suggested in activist discussions. Now there are precedents and predictions. We see a YouTube analysis as of December 2025 explores unlikely alliance amid Chamisa's return to active politics. One ex-post even predicts a GNU between them to reset the nation. Of course, there are counter-arguments that are lowering the odds. Ideological and historical clashes. Chiwenga military background ties him to ZANU-PF atrocities like the Gukurahundi, the 2008 violence, and the 2017 coup and the 2018 post-election crackdowns. Issues Chamisa has criticized in his unity statement. Critics argue this makes Chiwenga an unreliable partner for genuine reform. Chamisa's base might view it as opportunism, echoing past hopes, failed past hopes. For example, Mnangagwa's post-coup promises. Now, ZANU-PF unity myths. Some analysts dismiss Chiwenga MNANGAGWA rifts as psyops or manufactured distractions to test loyalties with no real factional splits. Chiwenga has publicly condemned Chamisa in the past, aligned with MNANGAGWA against opposition. Psyops are psychological operations to tune your perception, to control what you think. Another counter argument is opposition weakness. Chamisa's focus on new national consensus excludes ZANU-PF hardliners and internal opposition divisions, e.g. CCC infiltrations, makes it a cross-aisle or make cross-aisle deals risky. Kana CCC yakatombo penetrate kwa what happened. Then there are external factors like donor fatigue. Civil society is in limbo, and Western skepticism towards military figures like Chiwenga, they reduce a backing of such a pact. Overall, while 2025 events, e.g. Chiwenga's Politburo conversations and Chamisa's planned movement fuel talk, the credible evidence of negotiations exists. The probability hinges on escalating ZANU-PF instability, perhaps a failed 2026 conference resolution or economic crisis, but remains very speculative. Now, what would it take for the Chamisa and Chiwenga coalition to happen? What does it take for this to happen in these escalating high-stakes succession wars? For a Chamisa Chiwenga team up to materialize, several high hurdles would need clearing, focusing on trust building, structural reforms, and mutual incentives based on political analysis. Here is a step-by-step outline. Escalation of ZANU-PF succession crisis. Chiwenga would need to be overly marginalized, e.g. demoted or accused of coup plotting, forcing him to seek external alliances. Recent leaks show him accusing MNANGAGWA's inner circle of treason, which could precipitate a break. This mirrors the 2017 dynastics, but with Chiwenga as the aggravated party. Cast iron guarantees and reforms. Chamisa would demand and commitments to address historical grievances like the Gukurahundi resolution and electoral reforms, and limit military influences in post-alliance government. Chiwenga might need to publicly disavow ZANU-PF atrocities and pledge a genuine political settlement for fairness and accountability. This could include constitutional changes to prevent term extensions and ensure free elections, inclusive national dialogue. Drawing from Chamisa's call for unity, a broad consensus involving civil society, war veterans, and other stakeholders would be essential. This might involve a GNU framework too similar to the 2009 to bridge divides and focus on economic recovery, e.g. tackling poverty and brain drain, mutual benefits and risk mitigation. Chiwenga gains popular legitimacy and mass support to counter MNANGAGWA. Chamisa gets security backing and enforces reforms without repression. They would need to navigate opposition skepticism, e.g. via public endorsements, and avoid ZANU-PF infiltration tactics. International mediation, e.g. from SADC or the West, could provide cover against backlash. Timing and triggers. This might accelerate pre-2028 elections if economic wars worsen or if protests erupt, e.g. the March 2025 uprising calls a new conversation centered on national aspirations, as Chamisa advocates, would be the ideological glue. Already, Comrade Bombshell Geza showed us anything is possible in Zimbabwe. In summary, while intriguing as a nightmare scenario for MNANGAGWA, a Chamisa-Chiwenga alliance faces deep mistrust and structural barriers. It could transform Zimbabwe, yes, if driven by national interest over personal gain. But history suggests such pacts often falter without genuine accountability. For now, it's more of a rumor than reality. But watch for ZANU-PF's 2026 development as a potential catalyst. With all this happening, what is ZANU-PF's Mozambique strategy? Shifting to a non-liberation either candidate. Is this a possibility? How would they win over this one, ladies and gentlemen?